And we are live. What is up, everybody? Happy Monday, and welcome back to the Crypto Sherpa Show, where I read you those crypto news articles so you don't have to, because who reads nowadays? I know I didn't back in the day, but once I got involved with crypto, I could not stop reading because I want to know everything about it. And yeah, as the title says, crypto is going mainstream, and that is no joke. After this weekend, hearing the presidential elects or candidates say what they want to say about cryptocurrency, a lot of stuff has changed, and yeah, the narrative is changing. Even I'm seeing it here at the crypto clubs too. It's like more people are coming in, they want to be a part of it, and it's on both sides of the political spectrum, more than ever. I'm seeing now Democrats coming in, the left side, they're the ones usually fully against it, but that narrative's changing now because I think Harris is changing her stance. I've been seeing a couple articles on that, never really covered them, but no, it's just the whole mainstream narrative's changing, and woo, I'm excited for it. So again, I think the description says get it while you can, because once Bitcoin's gone, it's gone. There was an article I was browsing on here that I kind of found was is Bitcoin at risk for centralization from how many owners are out there, when they're just looking at the analysis of the wallets that hold what percentage of Bitcoin. It's not really. It's only like that once it's all gone, and then you got the banks, the governments, they're the ones distributing it now, and the only ones who else can get it is if you mine it yourself or you already got it. But no, so yeah, that's a couple of the news articles we will be going over today, just on how Bitcoin's going mainstream. And yeah, so this first article is coming from Cointelegraph, and Wisdom Tree CEO says crypto is going mainstream. Like I said, just like our title. Jonathan Steinberg said that the U.S. presidential contender Donald Trump's July 27th speech at Bitcoin 2024 promised a much-needed regulatory clarity. And that is true. We've always been, us in the crypto space, have always been saying we need more crypto clarity, stop hindering our uses of it. Now, if they ever took away taxation on the cryptos, that would be huge, and then we would see a godlike candle. But no, let's continue on with this article. Crypto is going to the mainstream. As a regulator clarity, publicly traded crypto funds and real-world asset tokenization spurs adoption. Jonathan Steinberg, the founder and CEO of asset manager Wisdom Tree, said in a July 29th interview on CNBC that the Republican presidential candidate Donald Trump's July 27th speech at the Bitcoin 2024 conference in Nashville, Tennessee, highlights how the U.S. political leaders are softening on crypto and may soon provide the industry with much-needed regulatory clarity, Steinberg said. Now, the former U.S. president could not have spoken in a more ambitious tone for what he would do with crypto and Bitcoin as an asset class. Steinberg said he's promising regulatory clarity for crypto and digital assets broadly. And Steinberg also said that I think that will have a very positive effect on not just crypto, but the asset class itself. Now, which is a really only half the story, but also blockchain-enabled finance. Steinberg said that he expects the prevailing narrative around crypto to expand beyond core crypto assets like Bitcoin and Ether, and to encompass asset tokenization more broadly. Now, the crypto as an asset class, and then there's this broader tokenization of real-world assets, we see it all converging right now, said Steinberg. We're moving toward a programmable money, which will really transform financial services broadly, and it's an exciting place to be right now. And it's not wrong. All of us are super stoked about being here. Now, let's see. Here's the opportunity about tokenization, and total addresses, 187 trillion by 2030. In real estate funds. So this is the non-financial corporate sector, the private equity, venture capital, financing collateral with securities, and the trade. So there's about trillions of dollars about to inflow. But Wisdom Tree launched its first crypto exchange traded fund, and Wisdom Tree Bitcoin Fund, the BTCW, in January, and has submitted registration filings for an Ethereum ETF to the United States regulators. Meanwhile, the RWA marketplace is projected to reach $2 trillion by 2030, according to McKinsey and Company. Now, traditional financial institutions are already beginning to enter the market for tokenized RWAs with products such as BlackRock's USDT, or USD Institutional Digital Liquidity Fund, and Franklin's on-chain US government money fund. Now, Goldman Sachs is prepping to launch 3 new tokenization products later this year, and I wonder what those are going to be. But this was launched less than 4 months ago after BlackRock's BUIDL account, which currently holds more than $500 million worth of tokenized treasuries, according to the Ethereum Block Explorer on Etherscan. So yeah, you can definitely check that out. That's was built upon the Ethereum's blockchain. And yeah, everything's just going more transparent is what we need. So yeah, crypto's going to go mainstream, blockchain technology is going to go mainstream, because we need a trustless entity we just everyone can use, and we just know it works, especially when it comes to political elections and everything out there. But yeah, so Wisdom Tree believes, the mainstream adoption really did change. So that's that article for you, and we got some more ahead of you because, again, not just America's adopting it, but other countries are ready to get involved with adding Bitcoin to the treasury. And which country is next? Well, that's going to be Hong Kong. This article is coming from Crypto Potato, and Hong Kong joins the Bitcoin reserve debate. The legislator calls for consideration. A prominent Hong Kong lawmaker has reacted to the comments from the U.S. presidential candidate Donald Trump over the weekend, proposing a similar concept for the Asian city-state. So yeah, a lot of these articles are just pertaining to after Trump spoke, it changed a lot. So again, this is what we were waiting for. We knew stuff was going to happen. The price may not have changed so much, but the narrative definitely did, and that's definitely what I wanted to hear. So yeah, let's go through this article to hear a little bit more about how Hong Kong wants to make that change. So Hong Kong Legislative Council member Johnny Ng, is that how you say it? He said that the city-states should follow suit if the United States did decide to implement a Bitcoin strategic reserve. Now, the concept is now likely being discussed across the globe following remarks by 2 of the 3 U.S. presidential candidates over the weekend. And regarding Bitcoin becoming an official financial reserve for a country or region, I think this is worth considering. Now, here's that tweet from Johnny Ng. Former U.S. President Trump just gave his speech at the U.S. Bitcoin Summit, sharing his views on Bitcoin and Bitcoin with Web3. He has already gained the attention and development of countries around the world, and Hong Kong is also actively becoming a hub to promote the technology. And they are, Bitcoin Magazine just partnered with MetaPlanet, the MicroStrategy of Asia, to bring the magazine over to Hong Kong. So it's getting pretty crazy right now. But Hong Kong's Bitcoin reserve, NG, continued to state that global acceptance of Bitcoin is constantly increasing, before adding that the cryptocurrency is seen by the public as digital gold and in the context of its technology. Now, in the future, it is indeed possible to research and consider including Bitcoin in a strategic financial reserve, as long as it's a compliant one, he said. Now, he believes that Hong Kong's government will open the market in a gradual and progressive and responsible manner. Now, that is leading in terms of crypto regulations, and Hong Kong should further build an ecosystem to attract global competitive talent and capital public change. Now, exchanges, enterprises, and projects, etc., to the city, he concluded. Now, since the introduction of the concept of a strategic Bitcoin reserve by Donald Trump and RFK Jr., as well as Senator Cynthia Lummis at the Bitcoin 2024 conference over the weekend, the narrative may be changing. And yeah, another article talking about the narrative changing in crypto. Now, in a post on X on July 28th, Professional Capital Management CEO Anthony Pompliano said that the other presidents may be discussing their premise of a Bitcoin strategy after hearing the remarks from Trump, ET, and all. Now, here is Anthony Pompliano's tweet. There is a nation's president somewhere in the world meeting with their team tonight, asking what their Bitcoin strategy should be, after hearing 2 of the 3 leading U.S. presidential candidates mention a national strategic stockpile over the last 36 hours. Now, the game theory has begun. Now, meanwhile, Bitcoin Samson Mao as well said that the conversation around Bitcoin as a reserve asset have begun. So it's, guys, listen to what these guys are saying right now. It's like the times have changed, and again, Bitcoin's a very scarce asset. It's going to be gobbled up as soon as possible. So you don't want to be just getting the little bit of Satoshis that they're doing out in the future. Just start collecting now. Join the crypto club if you need to learn more information, or just go on YouTube and start reading, watching videos, and learning as much as you can. But yeah, so let's continue. Now, who was it? Yeah, Samson Mao said that the preconception of what is a safe asset and what is a volatile one will be shattered in the coming months. Because yeah, everyone always thought Bitcoin was a very volatile asset. Now it's going to be switched to a safe asset to hold on to. We even have Louisiana Governor Jeff Landry echoed the sentiment in the post on X on July 28th, stating that his state is a leader in Bitcoin, banning CBDCs and protecting self-custody. We should continue to lead by having a strategic reserve of Bitcoin like Donald Trump suggests. Now, it's also going to be paying off national debt. That's what Senator Cynthia Lummis said. Even Robert F. Kennedy Jr. was saying that, it's the only way to solve this. But Satoshi's Action Fund founder Dennis Porter commented that Bitcoin is the only option for the U.S. to pay off its $34 trillion national debt. However, others point out that in order to tackle the debt, the government would have to spend the Bitcoin in theory, which would be bad for markets. Now, Dennis Porter tweeted, Bitcoin is the only option for USA, but to pay off that trillion debt, they need to sell it. So once Bitcoin reaches $13 million, it will only require the USA to hodl 2.6 million Bitcoin to pay off 100% of its $34 trillion debt. Now, we must pursue a Bitcoin strategic reserve to save America. Okay, so that's actually a good number. We finally have someone who actually did the math to see how much Bitcoin we would need in order to pay off the debt. So, yep, America needs 2.6 million Bitcoin to pay off the debt 100% of the time. So, very interesting. Did I just pull away from this? No, I didn't. Now, meanwhile, Bitcoin was buoyed by the weekend sentiment as it closed around $70,000 on Monday morning and Asian trading success. So yeah, Bitcoin touched around or was getting close to 70,000, but then something happened. Like I'll cover in the next article after this one, but I like keeping these segments a little bit separated. So when later on I can separate them and get these articles up individually as well. So you don't have to watch this whole live stream. But no, it's like the narrative is changing so hard. We have all these very high influential people like talking about it as well. We're seeing the world like change their narrative and their mindset. And it's true. They are going to be switching over their mindset. And again, like this is crazy times we've been living in, how fast Bitcoin's adoption really come. Because like it was just 4 years ago with the crypto cycle we had with El Salvador accepting Bitcoin as cryptocurrency. That was huge news. And like 4 years before that, we couldn't even imagine or picture Bitcoin actually becoming a legalized currency of the world. And it happened. And now 4 years after that, we have at least 2 out of the 3 presidential candidates like speaking out there for it. We got some governors out there pushing for new legislation, and they're having to go on our reserve balance sheets. Like, I don't know if we're going to have another cycle after this. We still might. Nobody knows the future, but it is getting so crazy. And I'm so excited to be a part of this journey. But yeah, let's continue on with the news. What else is going on? Because yeah, I was talking about how like we did have a little dip and like what really did cause that. But again, I don't know why the government is doing this, but the U.S. government just moved $2 billion worth of Bitcoin after Trump's speech not to sell. So what? So yeah, it's like Trump saying we're not going to sell anything we have. We're going to move to the Treasury Department, and whoever's in control of this is like, oh no, let's just end this right now. Let's hurt him anymore. Like we don't like what he's doing, so let's just slow it. Like if they sell it, we're still just going to buy it because that's the plan. We want it back. So if they want to sell it, kudos. It'll go into the hands of the little people or the big wills. Just I really hope the little people get involved with it. But yeah, let's learn about this sell-off that the government just did. Bitcoin fell slightly on Monday as the U.S. government transferred a significant amount of Bitcoin from its Silk Road crypto trove. Now, data from Arkham showed that the U.S. government sent approximately $2 billion worth of the Bitcoin to a new address. The transactions were made in 2 batches valued at around $669 million and $1.33 billion. According to Arkham, the funds were likely moved to an institutional custodial service, with Coinbase being a likely, although unverified, candidate due to its role as the preferred brokerage platform for U.S. securities. And they're not the only ones. They're now branching around the world for other ETFs. But here is that ETF, or that Twitter post from Arkham. Update: the U.S. government just split the 2 billion Bitcoin into addresses. These are the addresses right here. So if you want to copy that, look at himself. That's the power we got by having a decentralized distributed ledger. As long as you have the public address, you can view it on the blockchain. But we believe this represents a 10,000 Bitcoin deposit to an institutional wallet out there. And there's that other one for you. Now, no one is entirely sure who oversees the address yet, but Bitcoin did decline around 1% following this news and traded under 67,600. The fall came after Bitcoin briefly touched $70,000 for the first time since May. And how does the Bitcoin community react to this? Well, the lack of detailed information about the wallet's management did not quell speculation. Tyler Winklevoss, co-founder of Gemini, noted that the transfers occurred shortly after former President Trump announced his intentions to halt government's Bitcoin sales if reelected. Now, this timing led to further speculations about the current administration plans for the nation's BTC reserves, and speculators wonder if the current Democratic administration, led by President Joe Biden and Vice President Kamala Harris, plans to offload the nation's Bitcoin hoard. So here's what Tyler Winklevoss said about it. On Saturday, Donald Trump pledged to never sell any U.S. government's Bitcoin. 2 days later, Biden-Harris administration moves $2 billion of Silk Road Bitcoin. Great. Look, and great way to reset with our industry. Clowns. That's so true. Now, at the Bitcoin conference in 2024 of Nashville, Trump promised to convert the Sea Silk Road Bitcoin into a strategic national reserve. He also promises to fire Securities Exchange Commission Chair Gary Gensler and was met with enthusiastic applause from the crypto community. And additionally, Trump's campaign has highlighted that the case of Ross Ulbricht that created Silk Road with many in the community supporting his release. So, very nice. So the government sold off some Bitcoin. It's got to be an attack from the left, and who knows? They just probably want to just disrupt it again. They're trying to do everything they can to disrupt the right or Trump to do what he wants. So they tried to. I'm not saying they were the ones to do it, but there was an assassination attempt. They tried to throw him in jail, and now they're just like, he says he wants to do this if elected because they know he is going to be elected. Just like, you know what? Let's make that not happen. But yeah, so that's just the news for you if you're curious on what happened with the Bitcoin, why it had a little dip today, and yeah, just the government moving it, having a little backlash there. But that's that news article for you. Let's switch the pace now, and the Bitcoin conference wasn't the only thing that was happening in Nashville. We also had the Litecoin Summit, which was there, and I am a big fan of Litecoin because I see it as Bitcoin's little brother, digital silver. Like, once Bitcoin's gobbled up, people will realize Litecoin is the next best option after that. I'm not going to go into more details about that. Let's just say Mimblewimble. We have the Lightning Network and Atomic Swaps, and you combine the pieces there. But no, here's some Litecoin news for you from what we heard, because Charlie Lee says he's going to match the funding for the Litecoin Foundation. That's right. So in a surprising twist, let me zoom in a little bit more. There we go. In a surprising twist to the end of the Litecoin Summit in Nashville, Charlie Lee announced that he would be offering an annual contribution of up to $250,000 per year for the next 5 years, matching donations to the Litecoin Foundation. From this $250,000 contribution, $50,000 will be earmarked for any donation to the recently launched dedicated Light.space development platform and bounty program, with an additional $200,000 for direct donations to the foundation itself. Charlie will match donations dollar for dollar. Now, Charlie has highlighted that the foundation often faces challenges in deciding which projects to help support, and because of that, he wants to help accelerate donations, not only the foundation directly, but also third-party development as well, just so it can be active in the community. Now, because Litecoin was launched fairly, as you all know, we didn't print money for ourselves. So because of that, the Litecoin Foundation is very lean. Most projects that come to us, we have to turn down because we just don't have the funding for it. Now, I want to change that, said Charlie Lee. Now, for those interested in the Litecoin Foundation, it was granted a 501c3 status through its U.S. entity and the Litecoin Foundation, Inc. Donors in the U.S. will be able to donate to the U.S. entity and take advantage of a tax-deductible contribution. Now, for those who want to support the Litecoin Foundation, you can make donations in crypto or USD via www.litecoin.net. And anyone curious about development, bounties, or helping to support them can visit the Lightspace/missions and be able to contribute to a variety of initiatives from Litecoin Core and MWeb, which is Mimblewimble, development to a fleet of new ideas. In addition, anyone working on projects related to the Litecoin ecosystem can submit their projects for consideration. Now, there's Charlie Lee at the Litecoin Summit. The Litecoin Foundation is a nonprofit organization whose mission is to advance Litecoin for the good of society and by developing and promoting state-of-the-art blockchain technologies. So that was a nice little turn of events. Charlie Lee helping out. He's not the main holder of Litecoin anymore. We all heard that story, or I hope we all heard that story from what happened. People that thought he sold out, he doesn't believe in it. No, he's still a part of the team. He wants to match the funding. He just knew that he was kind of being like Elon Musk. You do a tweet, you have a bad day, the price matches it, and he wanted Litecoin to be like Bitcoin, decentralized. None of his decisions being made would affect the price. He just wanted to flourish on his own. So that's pretty cool of Charlie Lee for that. And we're still waiting on the news article for the Mimblewimble's partnership and integration with Cake Wallet that we heard over the week in the Litecoin Foundation. So once again, an article on that, I will announce that because that is so cool and new. Because if you don't know what Mimblewimble is, it's literally private transactions. You know how I said, if you have a public address, you can look at someone else's wallet on the blockchain, or you can see whose is in it. You don't know who the person is, but you can check it. There's the track record of it. But with this Mimblewimble, you won't be able to see what's actually in the wallet. 'Cause that's always a big problem with the crypto. And when you go to want to spend in the main world, you don't want everyone to know what that wallet's actually linked to you. So this is going to hide those transactions in there. And again, with atomic swaps out there with Bitcoin, you can kind of make Bitcoin anonymous too with this tech. So just saying. But so that's the Litecoin news for you. Loved it. And let's move on. I think we got 2 more articles for you. This one's coming from Cointelegraph, and Chainlink integration adds transparency to 21 shares Ether ETF. So Chainlink's getting involved. The integration aims to create more transparency for 21 shares Ether ETF, which could create more trust among investors. Let's see, how can you get more trust for this? Let's see. 21 shares has integrated Chainlink's proof of reserve system to create a more transparency for its core Ethereum exchange traded fund. 21 shares, one of the world's largest issuers of crypto exchange traded products, aims to build a greater trust in its physically backed Ether ETF by integrating proof of reserves. Now, the transparency created by the new integration could further the path of digital asset adoption, according to Johan Eid, the chief business officer of Chainlink Labs, who wrote in a share statement. 21 Shares is playing an important role in supporting the adoption of digital assets, and the Chainlink platform is helping financial institutions realize the vision of seamless tokenization on a global scale. Now, the proof of reserve system will offer real-time reserve data and reserve history available as publicly verified feeds that pulls data directly from Coinbase Exchange, and the integration comes a week after the launch of its first spot Ether ETF in the United States, when it went live for trading on July 3rd. Now, US Ether ETF approval brings us one step closer to DeFi adoption. Does it? Let's see. The approval of the first batch of US spot Ether ETFs is considered a historic moment for cryptocurrency adoption. The approval could bring the industry one step closer to the mainstream adoption of decentralized finance and payments, according to Ophelia Snyder, the co-founder and president of 21 Shares. She wrote, US approval of spot Ether ETFs serve as further evidence of crypto's global momentum and adoption, bringing us one step closer to our mission to bridge the gap between traditional finance and decentralized finance. 21 Shares has previously integrated Chainlink's proof of reserve solution for its spot Bitcoin ETF since its initial launch, and which is why the new integration into the Ether ETF was a no-brainer, according to Snyder. Now, Ether ETFs are opening the floodgates to more crypto ETFs? No, I'm not sure about. I think we might just stop at Bitcoin and Ethereum because we don't need others, but who knows, they might. But the pivotal approval of Ether's ETFs in the world's largest economy could open the floodgates for more crypto ETFs, including other global jurisdictions. In another notable development, Franklin Templeton and SBI Holdings have jointly formed a new crypto ETF management company. Cointelegraph reported on July 26th that the new joint venture may be looking to launch a crypto ETF in Japan, and once the regulatory framework permits, a Franklin Templeton, the spokesperson told Cointelegraph that it is expected that the joint venture will provide a diversified range of investment solutions, including Franklin Templeton's existing ETFs as regulations on digital assets and cryptocurrencies continue to evolve in Japan. Now the new JV will launch related products and subject them to regulatory approval. Franklin Templeton is also exploring the possibility of launching a spot Solana ETF thanks to its cryptocurrency's growing adoption. And again, yeah, Solana is a big one out there. That's definitely backed by the VCs. Will there be one? I don't know. Maybe. I don't know why, but they're just throwing them all out there. And heard the total value lock or transactions of Solana just passed ETH, so it does make sense. Didn't want to cover that article, just didn't see it as so important. Maybe the soul holders out there going, oh yes, huge, but yeah, they did pass ETH in transactions lately. But no, so yeah, that's some more ETF news out there, and are we going to be linked to the DeFi soon? We'll see. But yeah, so much adoption is happening in the mainstream, like just this narrative again. But yeah, so that's pretty much all those news articles for you. I got one more for you. Again, not to do with crypto adoption, but you know how I like to cover like either crypto hacks, so you're aware of what's going on. This one is revolving murder and Bitcoin that was stolen. That's right. So this article is coming from crypto.news, and a man was robbed and murdered over 3 Bitcoin in Kyiv. Kyiv. I'm pretty sure that's how you say it. The Kyiv police have detained 4 men for the abduction and murder of 29-year-old foreigner. The crime was premeditated and was motivated by nearly 3 Bitcoin. The National Police of Ukraine reported that the incident in Solomsky district in Kyiv, Ukraine, after the residents heard screams and saw several men beating and dragging a man into a car around midnight. Now, a large-scale police operation was promptly launched in Kyiv and its surrounding regions to locate and apprehend the suspect. Now, the details of the crypto murder. The suspects are aged between 24 and 29, meticulously planned the abduction after discovering the victim owned Bitcoin. They followed him to his home upon his return, and they attacked him and forcibly took him to a deserted structure in Kyiv region, according to Censor.net. Now, at the secluded location, the suspects coerced the victim into transferring his Bitcoin into their crypto wallet before strangling him. To cover their tracks, they altered the car's license plate and appearance, and then buried the body in a forest and converted the stolen crypto into cash. Now, the KORD special unit, along with law enforcement officers, successfully detained the suspects during the operation, and the police seized money and the vehicle used in the crime and other crucial evidence. So it was captured and released, but so sad for that man. The case is currently under investigation with charges of robbery, kidnapping, murdering for profit, and the crime concealment fired against the suspects. Now, the swift and coordinated police's response was instrumental in solving this brutal crime. So this is just one more example of do not tell anybody how much cryptocurrency you have. It is nobody's information but your own. And again, you don't want to put a target on your back. And like when you're also online, protect your digital identity. I'm the Crypto Sherpa. I'm sure a lot of you out there don't know my real name. Some of you probably do, but it's also even on my website. You can just look it up. But no, it's like keep your identity safe. Don't disclose how much crypto you have with anybody. Don't make yourself the target. It's your own information. It's to benefit you alone, and that's it. So yeah, so hopefully this is a lesson. I believe that's just a lesson you should learn by just don't tell anybody how much crypto you have, because stuff like this does happen in the world, and I want to make sure you guys are safe out there. But that is about it for the news articles we have for you. Just wisdom trees saying adoption's happening. Hong Kong wants to join it. I think I didn't cover the Justin Sun pushing for China. Charlie Lee doubling the donations for the Litecoin Foundation to spread adoption, and Chainlink's integration. And let's take a look at the fear and greed index right now. Bitcoin's price is around $67,000, and we are 63 greed Terry. So we're almost in the greed neutral. So still a good time to buy. We're not so fearful yet. I feel like we're in the 80s right here or 90s. Then you start being a little bit fearful, because when we are in the green territory, market's due for a correction. But when we're in the fear territory, it's time to buy. But that's the news articles for you today. I hope you enjoyed the show. I will start editing this when I can. I got a meeting with Caleb and Brownstein, so I hope I'll have my first partnership for my YouTube channel. So cannot wait for that. And then I have another Zoom meeting at 8 o'clock. But yeah, so I hope you guys enjoyed these news article read through. Don't forget to smash that thumbs up and like button on your way out. And until next time, the Crypto Sherpa is out.